Hey guys, today we'll be trying to create the biggest Goomba of all time, or at least as big as Super Mario Odyssey can handle. Now I was recently inspired to try this after watching ZXMany create some absolutely massive and tiny chain chomps in New Donk City. If you haven't seen it yet, I definitely recommend giving it a watch. But yeah, in this video, in the name of science, we'll be checking out just how small and big Goombas can really get. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like down below to let me and the almighty YouTube algorithm know. Anyways, let's get cracking. Alright, so starting things off on the small side of the scale here, let's begin with a Goomba that's 10 times smaller than normal. Alright, do you see him yet? Yep, there he is. Oh my god, he's so fast. Okay, you need to relax. I'm not about to die to a tiny little Goomba. Let's get a little zoom in here to get a better look at just how small this little Goomba is compared to Mario. That's pretty dang tiny. Let's see what happens when I try to capture him though. Oh my god, it just looks like I'm controlling Mario's hat running around. I'm sorry buddy old pal, I think that hat might be a bit too big for you there. Let's quickly go compare ourselves at this size to a normal sized Goomba. I want to show you guys just how small we really are here. Listen Mario, don't talk to me or my son ever again. Next up, bringing up the size a bit, this Goomba is about a quarter size of a normal one. Looks like the hat is still a little bit too big here. These snail fellas must think I'm a little rat or something. Even at this size, it just looks like Mario's hat has a mind of its own, but at least now the hat's raised off the ground and it's a bit easier to actually see the Goomba underneath. Now on to, I think, the last increment before surpassing normal size. Here we have a Goomba that's half the size of normal. The hat's starting to fit a little better now, but still looks like the Goomba could fit his entire self in there. Honestly, this Goomba appears to be close, if not the same size as those little other yellow Goombas that are seen in this game. Okay, now that we have a good sense of how the game can handle smaller Goombas, let's go finally deal with some big boys. Oh boy, here we go. So this here fella is only 5 times the size of a regular Goomba, and already he's looking pretty dang big. Oh wow, at this size we can already get a good glimpse of Mario's mustache here. It's pretty dang detailed. Hang on, are we already bigger than Captain Toad's ship? Ah, not quite, but almost. That's right Luigi, cower in fear before me. Mamma mia! It's pretty cool that we can see all this detail on the Goomba at this size. We can see all these little details on these textures. It really makes it look like leather or something. On the flip side though, we can also see how not so detailed the bottom of the Goomba shoes are. Which, I guess this makes sense. I guess at normal size, these are so small that I'm sure the developers didn't think anyone would see it this close or at this size. Holy, we're already almost as big as the Odyssey 2, and we're just getting started. Now doubling in size, this next Goomba comes weighing it at 10 times the normal size. Honestly, these size increases don't seem like much based on the number multiplier, but I think the actual size differences speak for themselves. This kinda seems like a similar sized Goomba to Goomboss from Super Mario 64 DS. Okay, well, at this size, looks like the camera is too zoomed in during gameplay for the Goomba to even be completely in the frame here. Okay, yeah, now we are definitely bigger than Captain Toad's ship. And also looks like easily larger than the Odyssey. Beautiful. But these are all still rookie numbers, gamers. Let's pump things up. Alright, the next Goomba should be around here somewhere. Wait, oh my god, did you see that? He like flickered in for a second. Ah, there he is. Okay, this fella here is coming in at a whopping 50 times the regular, and wow, that is one large fellow. It seems that starting at this size, the Goombas tend to pop in and out, so I guess I gotta try and keep the camera at them in a way that the game likes. Honestly, at this size, I think even just Mario's mustache here is bigger than the Odyssey itself. Like, look how big this Goomba is, even just compared to the last one we saw. Wait a second, do you think this Goomba is bigger than the entirety of Peach's castle? There's no way. Oh my god, dude, he really is. This is incredible. This Goomba could probably devour the entire castle and everyone in it in one gulp. Absolutely wild. I want to try and compare this size to the smallest one from the start, but it's almost not even worth it. Can we even see the smaller Goomba from this far away? Yeah, I guess right there. Is that him? This is pretty cool. Just look at how far we've come already. Ah, the little one followed us all the way here. Well, I guess I have no choice but to squish him. Oh wait, I forgot the Goombas stack. I don't know what kind of stack this is, but it seems like we got Mario's hat floating down there for some reason. That's pretty strange. Well, fellas, it's been a slice. One thing I also learned from ZX Many's video is that when you eject from a capture at larger sizes, it respawns Mario really high up, I assume where the top of the enemy's model is. So, knowing that, let's see if we can eject and make our way across all the way to Yoshi's little camp there. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Not quite. But you know what that means, we need a bigger Goomba. Okay, now we have a Goomba 100 times as big as normal. Look at the size of this lad. The Goomba is so big that I think the eyebrows here aren't even loading properly. They're just kinda cut off. Let me just take the camera back here a bit to truly put this Goomba into perspective here. I sure wouldn't want this guy to step on me, that's for sure. That's right, Talkatoo, you should be scared. Alrighty, take 2. Let's try and eject and see if this Goomba is big enough for us to clear this jump over here to the other side. Here we go. Holy. And, easy peasy. Now, this may be a big old Goomba, but you know what? Let's go bigger. Honestly, I think we've basically outgrown the Mushroom Kingdom, so now let's switch on over to New Donk City, where the next Goomba here is 1,000 times bigger than normal. He is so big that he like flickers in and out of existence. It looks like his foot alone is bigger than most of these buildings. Wow, yeah, his foot alone is bigger than even the entirety of the New Donk City Hall or whatever it's called. Alright, let's give him a capture and see what happens. Oh my god, okay, this might take a minute. Okay, this is pretty weird. I don't know if this is some sort of cloud texture in the sky or something, but it looks like there's some strange cloud-like texture here on the Goomba. Okay, shh, he's asleep, so he won't destroy the city for now. But here's a bit of perspective for you. This little square under the Goomba is the entirety of the main playable area of the Metro Kingdom. And once again, just the Goomba's foot completely dwarfs it in comparison. Then, if I attempt to walk around here, we're essentially invisible and we can just see flickers of Goomba's feet in the distance as we waddle around and terrorize the New Donk citizens. Also, it seems another super weird thing happens when I try to get close to any of the Spark capture points. Without even leaving the Goomba, Mario automatically captures the Spark pylon. It also causes the camera to completely flip out for a split second. It's pretty weird. Alright, ejecting the last Goomba took us pretty high up. Let's see what happens with a 1,000 times multiplier. Okay. We are way above the clouds and way above pretty much everything here. When I edit this video, I'll probably speed things up, but it's taking like a solid half a minute to even fall back down to the play area. 1,000 times bigger is still baby numbers though. Next, we're pushing things up to 10,000 times the size of a normal Goomba. The area is darkening again. Let's see if the Goomba is still here. There's a little bit of a flicker. Let's get closer. Oh man, what have I gotten myself into? Look at how massive just the eye of the Goomba is. For reference, this is the camera moving at full speed, and it feels like a snail's pace. Wow. And if we eject, yep, you guessed it, we get launched up once again. But this time, it honestly feels just as high up as the last time, so maybe there's some sort of ceiling we're hitting that's preventing us from getting sent up any higher. Okay, that's nice and all, but the game hasn't exploded just yet, so you know what we gotta do. Now bringing the Goomba up to a whopping 50,000 times its regular size, let's see what happens. Well, so far the game hasn't crashed, so that's good. It looks like the Goomba's shadow is here again, but I can't seem to actually see any of his model up in the sky this time. Even when captured, we can kinda see what I think is a foot, but it seems like it's so big that the game has trouble actually rendering it visible. Now if we eject, it looks like we're taken above the cloud line, or something, where only gray is visible below us, but yeah, just like the last two times, I think the height is just about the same. I don't think this was 50 times higher of a fall than the first one when we got here. So I went to go and eject a few more times at the size, and I ventured off outside of the normal boundaries of the play area, and I spotted this, what I thought was another flying taxi, but is actually a flying sphinx. I'm sure this has been documented or even just seen by many of you, but honestly, this was my first time noticing this flying super low detail sphinx. Really cool to see it up close like this. And unfortunately, fellas, I think that's the limit of what the game can handle. I increased the size of the Goomba to 100,000 and even 1 million, but nothing really seemed to change for me. That is, until I increased the size to a whopping 100 million times of a regular Goomba. Similar to the spark pylons, when capturing the Goomba at this size, it would sometimes auto-trigger capturing the one taxi that takes you to the other nighttime sub-area. The spark pylons were close before, and this time the taxi was pretty far, so I guess there must be some sort of capture hitbox that must be growing proportionally to the Goomba's size. Also here at this size is where I was finally able to break the game, at least so I thought. After ejecting from this massive Goomba 100 million times the size of a normal one, I guess we got ejected so fast or far that the game couldn't handle it. Now I thought it was just a straight up crash at first, but then the skybox started glitching and flickering and would sometimes go completely gray. So I guess the game is still technically running, but yeah, I let it go for several minutes and basically nothing happened. That is until several more minutes later, around 9 to be exact, Mario again started falling. So I guess my theory of there being a ceiling was wrong, because it seems like we got ejected so high that the game had trouble loading just how high Mario really was. But that's not a crash, so let's max things out next. Next up is the big one, 100 billion. Well, 99,999,997,952, because it looks like that's what it maxes out at. And after all the size increases before this time after ejecting, yeah, this happens. I think it's safe to say the game is toast. Sometimes, fellas, sacrifices must be made in the name of science. So I guess there you have it. The game can handle a Goomba up to 100 billion times the size of a regular one. So next time you see these little guys waddling around in a Mario game, just remember they have some big brothers out there that can stomp Mario with ease. And just before we go, we got some bonus content here. I thought it'd be fun to increase the size of Pauline here to 5 times her regular size, and yeah, this happens. I guess the model for the body and face are separate, as although the body is 5 times bigger, the face remains the same and is just a small little speck in an otherwise hollowed out head. It's honestly kinda creepy. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go check out some more of my modded videos while you're here, subscribe if you're new, and as always, thank you all so much for tuning in today, and I will see you in a bit.